my journey through hardship and hope, a story for you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Stories with Naila. Today, I'm sharing a very personal story, one that's close to my heart. It's about struggle, family, and finding strength when life feels heavy. I hope this story inspires you, and if you're learning English, listen closely, practice with me, and let's grow together. This is a long story, so grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive in. The day everything changed. Life wasn't always this hard. I used to wake up with a smile, excited for the day. I had a job I loved, working as an office assistant at a small company. It wasn't perfect, but it gave me purpose and my own money. My husband and I shared the load, bills, chores, raising our 2 daughters. We weren't rich, but we were a team. Then everything changed. A new boss came to my workplace. She was cold, sharp-tongued, and unfair. She criticized my work in front of everyone, gave me impossible tasks, and made me feel small. I tried to stay strong, but every day felt like a battle. I'd come home drained, my heart heavy, barely able to smile for my children. One day, I couldn't take it anymore. I quit. I thought I was doing the right thing. I told my husband the truth, that I left because of her. He hugged me and said, "You don't need to suffer. You did what was best." His words felt like a warm blanket on a cold night. But I made a mistake. I should have lied. I should have said they fired me or cut my position. Maybe then things would have been different. The weight of regret. At first, my husband was my rock. He said, "We'll be fine. You'll find something new soon." But weeks turned into months, and no job came. I sent out applications, went to interviews, but the phone never rang. The rejection letters piled up, each one a little stab to my confidence. Meanwhile, the bills didn't stop. The fridge needed filling, the kids needed school supplies, and the house needed repairs. My husband started to change. He'd come home from work exhausted, his face lined with worry. "You're home all day," he'd say. "Why haven't you found a job yet? I'm tired of carrying everything alone." His words cut deep. I felt like I was failing him, failing our family. I started to regret telling him the truth about quitting. Maybe if I'd lied, he wouldn't look at me like I was a burden. I tried to make up for it. I took care of the house, cleaning, cooking, washing clothes, helping the kids with homework. I woke up before dawn to make breakfast, packed lunches, and drove the girls to school. I helped my parents in their garden, pulling weeds under the hot sun. I wore old clothes, never spending a penny on myself. My mother noticed, and sometimes slipped me small gifts, a sweater, a jar of face cream. Those little things felt like treasures, reminders that someone still saw me. A dream that sparked a fight. Deep in my heart, I carried a dream. I wanted a third child. Our daughters were growing up 12 and 14, old enough to help with a baby. I thought now was the perfect time. I imagined a little one bringing joy back to our home, filling the silence with giggles. So one evening, I told my husband. His face turned red. He shouted, "A third child? Are you serious? I can't feed this family alone. I'm tired of baby cries, sickness, and stress." He reminded me of the old days when we both worked and struggled to pick up the girls from kindergarten. Once, we were so desperate, we asked our neighbor to take them home. "We can't go back to that," he said. "You don't care about what I'm going through." The invisible work. Every day was the same. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. before the sun to prepare breakfast and clean the kitchen. I'd pack lunches, braid my daughter's hair, and send them to school. No one said thank you. No one noticed the floors I scrubbed or the meals I cooked. When my husband came home, he'd slump on the couch, tired from his long day, and ask, "Why isn't the house cleaner? Why haven't you found a job?" I felt invisible. I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back. Her eyes were tired, her smile gone. Where was the happy me, the strong me? I was giving everything, my time, my energy, my love, but it was never enough. Money was always tight. The kids needed new shoes, the roof leaked, and my wallet was empty. I regretted not saving more when I had my job. Now, I had to ask my husband for every penny, and each time I felt smaller. A cold walk home. One day, I got a call for a job interview. I put on my best dress, old but clean, and walked to the office with hope in my heart. The boss smiled and said, "We'll call you." I waited days, then weeks, but the phone stayed silent. On the way home, the wind was bitter, the streets gray. I cried as I walked, my tears mixing with the cold air. My heart felt colder than the weather. I wondered, why is this so hard? Why can't I catch a break? At night, when everyone slept, I'd sit at the kitchen table with a cup of tea. The house was quiet, but my mind was loud. I wanted to work to help my family. I wanted that third child to feel the joy of a new life, but I didn't know what was right anymore. My husband slept in our bedroom, but I stayed with my daughters, curled up on a small bed. Sometimes I heard them whisper about me. "Mom's sad again," they'd say. They didn't understand, and I didn't know how to explain. The day I broke. One morning, I couldn't get out of bed. My head throbbed, my body felt like stone. I wanted to sleep forever, to escape the weight of everything. My husband shouted from the kitchen, "Where's my shirt? Where's my lunch?" I pulled the blanket over my ears, craving silence. The kids left for school, and the house was empty. I slid to the floor and cried until my chest ached. I thought, why do I live like this? Why does no one see me? I give and give, but I get nothing back, not a kind word, not a moment of understanding. That day, I didn't cook or clean. When my husband came home, he was furious. "What did you do all day?" he demanded. I looked at him, my voice barely a whisper, and said, "I tried to breathe." He shook his head and walked away. No one asked if I was okay. No one saw my red eyes. A glimmer of hope. That night, I went to the balcony. The air was cold, but it felt alive against my skin. I looked up at the stars, tiny lights in the vast darkness. I thought, maybe there's a light for me too. Maybe things can change. That small thought kept me standing. It was fragile, but it was enough. The next morning, I decided to try again. I opened my old laptop and searched for jobs. I wrote cover letters, each one filled with hope. I told my husband, "I'm trying. I want to work. I want to help." He looked surprised, then nodded. "Good," he said. "I hope you find something soon." I went to more interviews. One boss said, "You're great, but we have no openings." Another said, "Come back next week. We might have something." I clung to that might. It was a tiny spark, but it warmed me. At home, I sat with my daughters and opened my heart. "I want a third child," I said, "but I also want to work and make you proud." They looked at me, their eyes softer. "We just want you to be happy, Mom," they said. For the first time in months, I felt seen. A new beginning. I started helping my parents more on their farm, hauling buckets of vegetables under the sun. I cleaned the house less, giving myself permission to rest. I told myself, I am enough. I will keep trying. Then, one morning, the phone rang. A cheerful voice said, "We'd like to hire you." My heart leapt. I was thrilled, but terrified. Could I do this? Could I start again? I told my husband, "I got a job." He smiled, a real smile, not forced, and said, "I'm proud of you." Those words were like sunlight after a long storm. I started working at a small office, answering phones and organizing files. It wasn't glamorous, but it was mine. I loved earning my own money, meeting new people, feeling useful again. At home, things began to change. My daughters helped more, smiling as they set the table or folded laundry. My husband was kinder, his words softer. We started talking again, not just about bills or problems, but about dreams. I still wanted a third child, but I knew I needed to be stronger first for myself and my family. The woman in the mirror. Today I look in the mirror and see a different woman. Her eyes are still tired, but there's a spark in them. Her smile is small, but it's real. I'm not alone anymore. My family sees me, not just as a mother or a wife, but as a person with dreams and strength. Life isn't perfect. Money is still tight, and some days are hard, but I've learned to fight. I've learned to hope. This is my story, and I'm sharing it with you because I know I'm not the only one who feels invisible sometimes. If you're struggling, if you feel alone, know this. There's a light inside you, even if it's small. Keep going. Keep trying. You are stronger than you know. A message for you. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it touched your heart and gave you something to think about. If you're learning English, I hope you picked up some new words and phrases. Keep practicing. Every word you learn is a step forward. If you liked this story, please subscribe to English Stories with Alicia for more. Share your thoughts in the comments and let me know what stories you want to hear next. Until then, keep shining, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.